have this great opportunity, and thank you for sparing the time to speak with us. I'm today with Ms. Joanna, the founder and the head of WIRE, Women in Renewable Energy here in Canada. And we are very privileged, I would say, as the Canadian Business Council to have this interaction and the wonderful agreement that we had together, especially with having COP28 happening in UAE. So this is a start for a great partnership that we're looking forward to bringing both countries closer towards a good cause. So wonderful to having you here with us. Anything you would like to tell us to give our audience a bit of background so that they can get to know you and about the great work that you're doing?
Well, first and foremost, Dr. Nairouz, it is such a privilege to be here with you and to be able to speak with such a trailblazer as you are and such a leader in our community. Your empowerment and vision towards the future is such of importance that we need to continue this discussion. And the fact that you and I are connecting and what we're doing is so important. To talk a little bit about WIRE, Women in Renewable Energy, we are so privileged and honored and grateful because WIRE has observer status, as you know, with COP. And so we attended COP 27 in Sharm el Sheikh, which was a great opportunity not only to meet our WIRE UAE chapter leads, such as Dr. Rahaf. We have a very strong presence, as you know, in WIRE UAE because of the amazing leaders that we do. So Dr. Rahaf, Dr. Susan, Tanya, Dana. We're also very much aligned with the WIRE, or not the WIRE, but the Canadian Consulate as well. And I think that about WIRE, our mission is very simple. Our mission is about to advance the role and recognition of women and the underrepresented groups in the energy sector. I'm going to talk a little bit about our programming. So our programming here on the North American side is, and I like to talk about global, be global, but act local. In North America, the programs that work for us, as we both know, Dr. Nairouz, may not work overseas as we continue to grow the different chapters. So programs have to be aligned where most help is required. And but I can certainly talk about when I started WIRE back in 2012, and we had a very I had a lot of headaches when I started WIRE. And I've been in the industry 20 years now, and I was a commercial wind developer. So when I mean commercial wind developer, you know, the big wind turbines,
Yeah,
of course. Do.
true, true.
I was boots on the ground. At the time, there was no PPE or arc flash for women. And this was back in 2002. And I had just graduated university. It was a very hard time at the time as well. But at the same time, it was so enlightening to be boots on the ground and negotiating land leases, negotiating permittings, talking to different stakeholders. And one of the things that I realized, Dr. Nairouz, is that there were no women, and never mind at construction side, but at the boardroom table. So from 2002 till 2010, and I have had the pleasure of having built 2 successful wind projects. And when I returned back from the US, and I have a very big champion, which is my husband, um, Andrew Osawe. And he's like, Joanna, you need to start an organization to really fill that mandate. And when I did start WIRE, the backlash and whiplash that I received was actually not very nice. I received hate mail. I received derogatory comments. I was told that I was segregating the industry. I was told by other women that they're nice pat on the back, nice little network. And I'm usually a person that's quite positive, but when I get angry, I get very silent, and that's when I'm deadly. So I was like, okay,
Thanks for the tip.
yeah.
I should be looking out for that. I'm glad you're
So
talking. Keep on talking. Yeah.
so when Wire started, all of a sudden, like I had this, and by the way, I'm speaking to you from downtown Toronto, where I live, and at that point, I was like, I put my head down. I was so emotionally charged and very to the point that I was like, I can't believe that this has happened. So I decided that we were going to look at a national scale, and we did. Now we're in every single province in Canada, including the territories. And then I had the privilege, Dr. Nairouz, of being invited to the G7. When I provided my intervention at the G7 on energy and diversity, equity, and inclusion, a lot of the member states started to come to us. Never mind the fact that at the time, the ambassador of Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Chris Cooter, who's now the High Commissioner of South Africa, he actually reached out to me personally and said, can we please do this? Not only that, the Senior Trades Commissioner, Chris Wimmer, who I definitely have to, acknowledge because he really made this happen. He really started to make sure that we're entering the countries. And the way that we started entering the international market is through the Canadian embassies and Canadian consulates, because that is the best platform for us to continue this important conversation. We're a non-for-profit. Um, we are very proud Canadians. We think that we have a lot of best practices we can continue. Now, again, going back to what I said about global, be global, but act local. So the programs that we have here in Canada may not be applicable, Dr. Nairouz, in different countries.
Sure.
But I'd like to talk about the programs that we have here in Canada, because we definitely have a very big outreach. And with the momentum with the Wire UAE team, who is a powerhouse, amazing women that you've met as well. These Dr. Rahaf, Tanya, Dr. Susan, Dana, as well as, of course, the Wire International team, have been so integral in putting the pieces together as we move forward into COP28, which will be a significant moment.
Absolutely. Are you
So
going to be joining us for COP28?
we sure are. So Wire has
Excellent.
observer, we sure are. And
Sure.
we're planning on doing a lot of different activities and a lot of different roundtables, as well as different workshops. So absolutely. And Dr. Nairouz, you and I will be communicating on how we can work better together to make sure that, our voices are being heard. Again, because voices need to be heard. And I think that with COP28, there's a lot. I mean, last year, the loss and damages, right, that were really a hard negotiating stop
Yeah.
or go. We need to really refresh. But here on the Wire, for Wire North America, just for instance, like we have amazing programs, networking events. So we bring in C-suite level speakers. Next week, we're actually hosting a Wire event with Wire Newfoundland, where we have, Sean. We have amazing speakers and a great interest, especially on the hydrogen side and what is happening. We do field trips. A week and a half ago, we did a field trip to the generating station in Niagara Falls, and we're partnered with them. Most people, Dr. Nairouz, do not understand the difference between a distribution line and a transmission line. So how do we how do we bring everyone together? How do we talk about this? Well, that's a great way. We started WIRE student chapters, so we've partnered with academias. We are partnered with skilled trades as well. We have we have student bursaries, because I don't know about you, Dr. Nairouz, but when I was in university, I was going to say high school, but university, I didn't have $2,000 to go to a conference. So we make sure that students are being really informed and engaged within the decision makers. We have speed mentoring. Speed mentoring is where we do this with different conferences and even virtually, where we bring decision makers with emerging professionals such as yourself. And we really have it's a 15-minute window. We do speed interviewing. So we've worked with a lot of high level corporations that they'll bring me their scope for the job. So we're able to go through a Rolodex and we're able to send 20 people. And through that, they're able to outreach, have the right talent, and continue that discussion. We have spotlights. Spotlights are blogs, again, to feature not only women, underrepresented groups, males, and champions of our industry, because we need the voices of also of everyone to have a very important discussion. Because without male champions, as we both, you and I know, this industry has been dominated by males, but we are changing things, right?
Yeah, sure.
And it's important to change things. WIRE also has a very huge WIRE award community, which I'm so proud of. And I think that the WIRE Awards is something that, again, to highlight women and underrepresented groups is extremely important. So we have Women of the Year Award, we have Women of Renewables, we have Women of Hydro. We are now currently working with Indigenous communities to ensure that we have, with Roberta Giroux and Patrika, to get Indigenous Leadership Awards. Again, going back to what I said, we are very cognizant that what's right for North America may not be right for other countries, right?
Yeah.
And a few weeks back, 6 weeks ago, I think it was 5 weeks ago, we just launched WIRE UK. So we're now in 8 different countries. And Dr. Nairouz, it's been mind blowing on the interest and the involvement. Also, we're having right now a huge survey, which our Vice President Aisha Bukhari launched, which is called Energy Equity. And we're talking about things about the elephant in the room. So for instance, we have this survey, and women and men and all are coming to us saying, for instance, one of the quotes is, okay, there's 10 engineers on my team and I'm the only female, but I have to do the minutes and the action items, right? Well, we want to talk about these hard discussions. And I think that it's important, Dr. Nairouz, to talk about being uncomfortable, but being comfortable about talking about it.
Sure. Yeah.
And your important work, Dr. Nairouz, is so vital. You are doing such an exceptional job to making sure that our voices are being heard. So I cannot thank you and give you all my love and gratitude, because it's something, again, a leader does. So thank you, and I'll stop there.
Thank you. And actually, without you and your efforts, whatever we're doing is useless. So I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to meet, and we're very privileged to have this opportunity to hear your stories and the challenges that you've been through and how you were. I mean, this is the power of female leadership traits. I always say we don't want the world full of men. We don't want it full of women. We want inclusivity. We want parity. So each party will bring their own unique, characteristics. And the power of capturing a challenge and turning it into a great opportunity. So thank you for all the great work that you've done. And definitely we're very keen and eager to take whatever best practices that we can from your experience. And like you did, do some kind of local fine tuning to make it adaptable to our market. I'm very much looking forward for much more conversations, interactions, support, and programs that we can work on. Any last word you would like to give our audience before we say goodbye?
Thank you for the amazing work, Dr. Nairouz, that you're doing, and to your entire team. We look forward to really collaborating with COP28. We believe that, as the momentum continuously grows, we need to make changes. The change has to happen now. It's not tomorrow, it's now. And we need all hands on deck, and we need to align to ensure that the power for net zero is really a driving force, not only on the net zero, but on, justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. We need to ensure that we are meeting those goals. It's not about segregating the industry. It's about making sure that we are all individuals, because we are, as individuals, have so much to say. And the lack of women at the boardroom table is a very huge concern for me. Forbes, out of the 500 companies, I don't know if you know that, you probably know, but there's 4% of women that are leading that charge. McKinsey, Deloitte, KPMG have done a lot of studies, and quite frankly, being 20 years in this industry, yes, I'm seeing more women and underrepresented groups, but Dr. Nairouz, I'm sorry, but we're not there yet.
But this
now
is
we have
our
women.
job. This is why, we're focusing. Sorry for interrupting you, but, as executive search consultant, this is our motto and objective. And, whenever somebody's asking me, I say, we will not stop until we have 50-50. Once we have 50-50, then we can stop and say, okay, mission accomplished. So I'm 100% with you, and you can blame us for this. And it is our job to ensure that we're doing whatever it takes to bring in the female power to the board house. Absolutely.
Well, that is thanks to people as yourself, Dr. Nairouz, and your corporation that understand the greater importance of bringing individuals and forgetting about the sexes. Like, it's, and I think one thing, and one last word, at Wire, I am so proud of the diversity, equity, and inclusion, not only from our board, not only from our advisory council, not only from our honorary, and then globally. We are really making sure that we are bringing everyone together, because if we don't, and this is one of the things that I say to, and I speak about this often. If a corporation hasn't done any actions on DEI, guess what? They've been late to the party 15 years ago.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So, but I'm so thrilled and so grateful to have a friendship with you, and thank you so much. You really have done so much for Wire, and we look forward to this beautiful, beautiful relationship. And I love the fact, Dr. Nairouz, that you're such a powerhouse and such a trailblazer, because again, we need women as yourself to continue this journey to unlock obstacles. So thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you for all the great work that you're doing. And I'm very much looking forward for the future together. And I know that we are going to transform things in the right direction, for a fact.
Yes.
Lovely. Have a wonderful day. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.